If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. Something, something, something. Friendship never ends. Ladies and gentlemen.
Perfect. It's the perfect intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special edition, episode 67 with filmmaker Sam Holland. Coming from across the pond. Welcome, Sam.
Hello.
You are the first repeat guest on the podcast now, officially.
Really?
Yeah.
Crikey me. Is that because all the other good ones weren't available?
Yeah, man. I had to go international, you know? It's because America is in such shit. I was like, I need to start getting some international guests back on the podcast.
That's it. Well, I hope they can understand what I'm saying.
Right before we started the podcast, you were saying the Spice Girls are the biggest thing out there. Is that really like one of the most...
That's just in my household.
Well,
they've made a comeback, haven't they?
Have they?
Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just dreaming it, but I'm sure I've heard something.
Really?
I live life in my little bubble. This is what we talked about last time, wasn't it? Corona, live life in my little bubble. So I'll just make these things up. We could cut all of this out. We could cut
Nah, man.
Everything I say out.
No edits. No edits. I remember listening to Spice Girls growing up, and I loved it. And girls were all about that song. But then it was like, if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. Like, that can mean a lot of things.
It can. I've always thought that as well. That is the dodgy lyric.
Yeah.
In that whole song.
I think it's every guy's dream, you know? And it feels like that didn't come true, you know, for a lot of people.
They lied to you. The Spice Girls lied to us all.
Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a video production, filmmaking heavy episode. Sam is a successful filmmaker from across the pond, from Nottingham, where Robin Hood lives. I call Sam the hardest working man on YouTube. Sam, if you want to learn about video production, go check out Sam on YouTube. He is putting out content weekly. It almost seems like you put out content daily, to be honest with you. From bloopers to product videos, everything. Do you put out a video a day?
Not daily, even though these bags under the eyes would feel as though it is daily. I try and work on as much as I can. Yeah. The thing with me is, if I get an idea, if I don't follow through with that idea and execute that idea as soon as I get the idea, that idea will go to the bottom of the pile and it will never happen. So I feel like I just have to get working on something as and when I have the idea. For example, I'm going out doing some filming tomorrow, and there's 4 videos that I need to film in one go. So that's going to take all day, but then I'll be editing those 4 videos over the next week or so. So sometimes it feels like I'm like putting stuff out every day, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I'm just trying to like do as much as possible, really.
4 videos.
If I'm at a weird angle, by the way, if I'm like leaning in, I'm at a weird angle because the dog is sat here, and because Beth's gone out, he gets a bit needy. So if I don't like stroke him, he's gonna start jumping up.
Do dogs act different over there? Like they're like, "Can you give me a rub? Can you give me a pet?"
Yeah,
huh?
Yeah, it's a bit like that. A bit. Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit needy. Let me get him up here.
All right. You fancy a walk? Is that what they say? Cheers, mate. Would you like to go for a walk? Oh, wow. That is the most European dog I've ever seen. That is officially the 3rd dog that's been on the podcast.
Really? There you go. He loves it. Like every time I set the camera up, he has to get involved. It's like he knows.
Dude, how important are dogs during the pandemic? Like being locked up, I feel like they just help so much with people being happy, you know?
Have you had the companion... Is it Beowulf?
Beowulf, yeah.
Beowulf. What a name.
Yeah.
That is a proper name.
Yeah, savage. She's a savage.
Is she?
When I got her from the pound, I don't know what you call the pound out there. Probably
like a rescue center type
like
thing.
the Pocky. I feel like you guys call it the Pocky or something like that. But I got her, and she literally would not stop biting me. Like, all the other puppies were all needy and everything, and like, oh, pick me. But she just like was just like, ugh, with me, and would like just keep trying to bite me. And I was like, that's my dog. Like, I just
Really,
because she had so much like character and wasn't needy. And when I got her, she would bite off all the molding on the floorboards and then all the window sills. Like, she's just a savage. So Beowulf is like the perfect name.
did you have to train her up a lot?
Yeah, I'm still training her. I get these like when I take her for walks, it's like these metal prongs. It's like medieval. It looks bad, but they like will poke if she tries to pull, but she still tries to pull with them because it's like, it's like this German collar thing. It's pretty intense, but she'll still try to pull and like go to like stab herself. So then I felt too bad, so I had to change it to a gentle leader. So she's just a savage,
Yeah, we tried a similar thing with Wilbur, but it was just like a muzzle thing. But the whole time, and what it did, if he tried to pull, it would make the nose go down like that.
Yeah.
And so, but he'd just keep doing it, and then just try and like take it off.
Yeah.
And it didn't work whatsoever.
That's what I'm using right now. The gentle leader goes over the nose, and then you pull it, and it's just like, yeah, she hates it.
Stick with it, man. What does she pull for? What is it? Why does she?
Because she just wants to sniff everything, and she just wants to like if she sees other dogs, she wants to fight them. Like, that's the thing is she's from the ghetto, and she's ready to fight. And I live now in like a beach community where it's really nice dogs, and they've never experienced anything. So it's like my dog is ready to fight all the time when other dogs just want to play. So it's like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, Wilbur hates other dogs. He loves going on a walk, but he literally wants to be with us, chilled out at home all the time, or on a walk. But when he sees other dogs, that's it. It's so loud. So we do this thing now where whenever we see another dog or another dog walker's coming up towards us, we like say his name and then get a treat ready and try and get him to focus on the treat while we walk past. And sometimes it works, and then sometimes it just doesn't work whatsoever.
Tough life.
But yeah, man, sorry, I feel like I digressed from your question about...
I like how I say this is going to be a heavy filmmaking episode, and we just talk about dogs for 10 minutes.
Talking about dog training.
Yeah. There's some dog trainer listening to this just hating us right now. They're like, you're doing it all wrong.
That's it. Maybe you could get a sponsor for dog training.
Dude, I need it. I need a dog trainer. They're expensive, dude. Some of those, like the boarded dog training where you send your dog for like a month, some of them are like $10,000.
No way.
Yeah.
10,000.
I'm sure they're good, but $10,000.
I feel like, I mean, you'll know if this is true. I feel like if you want to start a business, go to America, because it seems like everybody charges so much more than they do over here for stuff. Yeah,
it could be the cost of living. There could be other variables in there, but this is a good place to start any business, is because we'll like, you could come up with any idea. I mean, I don't know about right now during the pandemic, but before, you can make anything into a business. There's like dog massage therapists. There's like dog therapy. Well, you think your dog is sad, you'll take it to someone who like will talk to your dog, and like dog psychics and shit. It's definitely a good place if you just want to have a wacky idea.
Man.
Yeah, like with filmmaking, is it good money? Like, you could live off of video production pretty quick, or you need to have other incomes?
I feel like if you go down the wedding video route, I think you're all right.
Yeah.
You're sorted. But anything else is really difficult unless you get in the corporate game.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, I don't know if it's the same with you, but a lot of it is word of mouth, isn't it? So if you do music videos for people, they'll talk to their mates and you'll get more music videos.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing over here is there's not a lot of money in the music video thing unless you're like talking like the top people.
Yeah.
But trying to break into that is a different story. So, but if you're doing like corporate work, a lot of the corporate businesses, it's like they don't really talk to other businesses. Mm-hmm. So you don't really get the repeat work. You don't really get a lot of work from word of mouth in the corporate game.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's difficult. You can make a living easy doing wedding videos, but anything else is quite difficult. You've got to, I think, be active on social media all the time to be doing it. And I was doing that, but since the pandemic, I've been focusing more on the YouTube, Instagram thing and doing stuff like that. So that's why I think it might seem like I'm putting out a lot of content, because I'm just trying to be present and in front of as many eyeballs as possible to get the views up and get as much work in as possible, really.
Yeah. No, it's smart, man. And that's why it's so true, because my passion for filming stuff is always working with artists and stuff that they're passionate about. I mean, you know, and it sucks because those are the clients that can't really pay I would say 95% of artists can't really pay the price that you can make with, corporate jobs. But then the flip side, like corporate jobs aren't as fun. And then they're really just like, you're almost just documenting objective stuff. And is your dog having a go at you?
He's gone now. I think there's some dogs yapping outside, so we can hear them. So, but he might have gone. He might have left me alone.
He's like, you fancy a go, dog? You proper cunt.
Yeah, he's on it now. So,
and
you're right. You're right.
And it gets more boring, but dude, it sucks. I actually, we talked about this on Instagram. I was filming a music video at the beach of this surfer who has a music video coming out, and dude, my drone, it went down. I lost, dude, and it sucks. I don't want to get too much into how much the job was, but it was, I think, total actually for the video, it was like $1,500 for the video. But I had already filmed a bunch of stuff, and I was doing like a reshoot, and I was only doing a day fee of like $300 just to film. And I ended up losing the drone after 20 minutes of filming. Woke up at about 4:45 a.m. to go out there. And I got about 20 minutes of footage, and then the battery goes off. Like, it says like, it goes down to like, it went from like 40% to like 20% really fast. And then once it hit like 20%, I'm like, okay, I got about 5 more minutes, which is usually I'll start flying it back at like 15% or something like that. I know it's terrible. I'll never fly. Once it gets close to 20%, I'm always going to land it now. But,
but you should feel like you can, because like you say, every other time it's been all right.
Yeah. So it's just, I can't take that risk over water anymore.
No.
And I'm filming it, and I'm waiting for him to catch one more wave to like pull it back in, and it just goes down to like beep 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 beep, beep emergency landing, and I'm just like, whoa, what the fuck? And you know how you can press the X to cancel it from going emergency landing? I do that because I'm just like, okay, cancel really fast, and I'm trying to pull it back up, like, make it go higher, and it's just done.
Man,
1,500.
I can imagine. I can't believe that. When you told me that yesterday or the day before, I was gutted, man, because I know that feeling. I know that feeling actually, because I nearly crashed mine at a wedding into a field of sheep. It was such a windy day, and I was getting like this orbit shot of the church. And
which
all of
drone?
a sudden It was the spark. So it's not a patch. It's not a patch on the emotional disturbance that you would have felt yesterday, but
mainly the
feeling,
financial disturbance.
Man. And I want to ask you something about it anyway.
Okay.
But anyway, so the wind picked up, and then I just saw it go like this when you're watching it on the screen, and I was like, this is my last flight. This is my last flight with this. And it was coming down like that, and then it was rocking, and then it come down a bit further, and I thought, this is it. I'm going to try and land it really safe. And I looked over, and there's this field, loads of sheep in this field, and I thought, I'm going to give one of these sheep a haircut free of charge with this drone. But luckily, all of a sudden, it must have just dipped below where the wind was really bad, and then it just stabilized, and I managed to get it back. But anyway, man,
Sam, that was nothing like what happened to me. Your
Just
story ended good.
yeah, and happily ever after.
Yeah, and they lived happily ever after. And here's my drone right here.
Yeah, here it is. I've got 2 drones now.
That's so funny.
I can imagine you dropping the remote and running slow-mo into the sea.
I wanted to.
And, Ben Stiller style, obviously.
I couldn't believe it. I literally just stood there, and it's like, I was just like, I can't believe that just happened. I was literally just rubbing my head, just going, oh no. Like,
were you thinking, how can I still get it back?
Yeah, I was literally, because if you see from the video I posted on Instagram, there's people all around it, surfers.
Yeah.
If I ever saw someone's drone go down and I was right there, I would swim the fastest to get it for them, just to get it. Instead of, one of the people that was there goes, I think his drone went down. And I'm like,
yeah, thanks.
Treat it like it's your baby. Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have done. I'd have been like, there's a drone that's crashed. I need to get it. And they were all just like this.
Yeah.
Weren't they? Old codgers.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. Well, hopefully they don't watch this. And
I know.
Called them codger.
Yeah. They don't know what that is. They're American.
They can. Yeah, that's all right then.
They're sweet people, but it was
keep
just
them in the dark.
Yeah. It was a moment, a lapse of judgment in that moment, but it's my responsibility. I accept it,
How? Well, it wasn't really, was it? Because you should be able to get more juice out of the battery.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird things with the DJI drone batteries. They're always saying, I remember when I first got it and I was really into flying it, I was listening to a lot of I forgot his name, but he has a podcast about flying drones, and it's all about the 107 test and passing it. And they had a whole episode on DJI batteries and how DJI knows they have issues with their batteries because they've outlined so much in their warranty and defects and their disclaimers of how you need to store them and what you need to do. Like, you're supposed to de-friction them once you get to a job because that can affect and rapidly drain the battery. But who does that? Who de-frictions drone batteries? Like, takes them to like a metal thing and places them. Every battery, if you've been traveling, if they've been in a bag, you need to de-friction them. And a lot of stuff, and you're supposed to drain them before you store them, because if you store them charged, they can rapidly drain. So they know that their batteries can be faulty and just outline so much in it to where if you do have an issue, it voids warranties.
Right.
And it's like, it sucks, but I'm like, I don't know. I think because I have a business or I have really tight contracts, I can't be mad at them. I'm like, it did say it in there, and they're like, if you fly over water, you're taking that risk.
Man. So how are you getting over it then? Did you just think to yourself, oh, this is... How were you for the rest of the day?
I went and got Red Robin, and I ate my sorrows with a bacon cheeseburger burger, and French fries. And I actually... I have this tradition. I don't know if you do anything like this, but any day that I film a job, I make sure my girl and I go out to eat because I just got paid nice. And,
Yeah.
well, technically on that day, I was negative money now, but
Yeah.
for that job.
She could have taken you out.
Yeah. But I'm always like, this is a tradition. Whenever I have a film day, I always like to just go pick up food. So I did that. And then I just played Call of Duty all day, you know, for about 4 hours. I played video games. And I researched drones for like another 3 to 4 hours, and went through the footage to see if there's anything still usable for that job.
Yeah. You managed to get some from the proxy phone footage,
Yeah.
didn't
The only thing is, it's not I'm going to end up refilming with the client, because just to my standards, I'm like, I don't want to give someone this, because even though I can make it work and I know I could be like, yeah, this is good enough, and they wouldn't know, I would know. And I'm like, I don't want to put this out.
Yeah.
So I spent about 4 hours researching drones, and I didn't want to buy the same drone over again, because I'm like, then that makes it feel like, I don't know why it felt like it was a complete loss if I did that.
Yeah.
So then I, luckily, good timing, the new drone had just came out, the Mavic Air 2, which actually has some better features than the Mavic Pro, even though it's more expensive. And that's at 60 frames per second, 4K. That auto tracking, they have some insane auto tracking where you literally can go through a forest and like trees all around you, and it will like go through like trees, and you're not controlling it to follow you. It's pretty insane.
It's good, isn't it? Does it? And it maps where it thinks you're going to go, doesn't it? So if you go, like if you're in the clear and the drone can see you, but then you go through a tree, it stays on course and then catches up when you come out of that tree. It will know that that's where you were going.
That's pretty fancy. I don't know.
Apparently.
Okay.
I mean, that's meant to happen on the Pro 2 as well, but I tried it and it didn't work. But I was quite high up, so maybe I just wasn't within the right range.
Yeah, because I've tried that with the Mavic Pro 2, where I would go under a tree and it would just kind of lock onto the tree, like it would lose my body and then try finding it.
Man.
But yeah.
Well, so did you order one?
It might be arriving while we're filming this.
Crikey, that's exciting.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing. Oh yeah, I'll also have up the new Aputure mini dome. I have it going
what do you
right
think?
now. I like it. I want to compare the two of them side by side, but so far I think it might be a tad bit harsher, the softness of the light box. But the size, especially for in this room, can't beat it. And I think it's going to be rare situations where I'm working with a client that the light won't be good enough, you know? Yeah. For people who don't know, we're talking about light domes and lights. I'm using the Godex. Which one is this? The SL152? Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a beast.
It is a beast, man. And that's the thing. If you're a filmmaker or somebody who wants to do videos or photography, you're going to pick up some names in this episode that you should go check out. I had the nice photo dome. It was just way too big for in here. And I don't even know, that's the other thing I was going to ask you, is I only keep the SL150 at, I think right now, we're at 5% light.
5. So yeah, I'm on 74, but I've got the fan off.
I'm at 74.
Yeah, but have you got the fan on?
I don't know.
Can you hear it, or is the white light on at the back of the unit? Because
the fan's on.
Yeah, so and I've got it quite far away from me at the moment. But literally I could get away with a lot less, but because it's quite far, I put it high up, and I don't need the fan on, so I never have the fan on unless I'm shooting slow-mo and I've got higher shutter speeds, and then I need that extra brightness. Yeah. So I just leave the fan off.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's a good tip. I'm just a sucker for a good, like right now, the light is a little too bright for me. I really like that cinematic, half lit face kind of thing. So So that's why I try to do with the podcast is have the ambiance, have this, because this will help light up a little bit, that second light, and then I got the background, and yeah.
It looks great, man.
Thanks, man.
It looks really good, and because you showed me a comparison between your old light and this one, and this has got a lot more. It's like it's a cooler light, isn't it? But
yeah,
I feel like you've got more movement to go either way, haven't you?
Yeah.
With that for colours. But I've taken a slightly different approach recently because I love that, like what you've got, that split lighting or the Rembrandt lighting. But with my face shape, I've got like a broken nose, and so if I have the light coming from this side, I look really odd or worse, I should say. And so I have to have it from the left. But if I go too far, you can I get this I don't know if we're allowed to say this, but Hitler mustache. I get like a Hitler thing there. That looks. I've probably got a bit of it now, actually. So yeah, I found it really odd coming from a different angle with my face. So I have it straight on at the moment, and it seems to be a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. I'll probably change it again because I always if I look back at my old videos on the channel. Back then I thought it looked really good, and I just think, what was I thinking? It looks dreadful. So I'll probably look back at this in a month's time and go, crikey me, what was all that about?
Man,
what was that phase?
That's the phase. That's the craziest thing about doing any kind of creative thing like video, music, photography, comedy, whatever it is. Isn't it crazy that you go a few months and then you look back at your work and you're like, oh, that is cringy. That is terrible.
Yeah.
I can't even listen to music and look at old videos. Like when people tell me they go back and look at some old stuff of mine like years ago, I'm like, I can't even go look at what they were looking at because it's just so cringy for me.
Of your stuff?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I was distracted then. I've just started my camera recording again because it stops after half an hour. Is yours all right? Are you going through the Ninja?
I'm in the Ninja, baby.
He's on the Ninja.
Ninja lifestyle.
Ninja. So, sorry, man.
Why aren't you using your Ninja?
I've got the Ninja, but I press record on the camera. So, have you just done it on the Ninja itself? Just press record on the Ninja?
Only on the Ninja, baby.
Maybe I should do that. Next time we do this.
Yeah.
If I'm allowed on again, I'll do that.
We'll see.
Right. So I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry I cut you up then. We were talking about looking back on old stuff and not being happy. But I think that's a good thing because when you look back at your old stuff and you think, oh, that wasn't very good or it's cringy, then it shows that you've improved and it shows that you've got a awareness and respect for what you're doing and that you want to grow. So I think if you look back and cringe, it's a good thing because there's so many people in like music or whatever they do that just think they're amazing no matter what they do, and they've got like no shame whatsoever about any of their old stuff or their new stuff that's terrible, but they stay stagnant, don't they?
Yeah.
And
that's so true.
And I think not to diss on anybody, but I think there's a lot of people that as well that don't like to watch themselves back because they know that they're bad.
Yeah, that's true.
But that way they don't really improve.
Man, dude, those people who don't look at their stuff and cringe, they're hard to be around. Hard to be around. I deal with that a lot with man, I guess I shouldn't even talk about this. I've been around comedians who I'm like, I shouldn't talk about this. Who think
Go for it, Matt.
Who think they did really good on stage, and they're like, dude, I crushed out there. Good luck trying to follow that. And I'm just like,
really?
Man, yeah. And it was just terrible. And I'm like, man, that was bad. Like, I can't believe you think that. Yeah.
They say that out loud.
Yeah, I've heard people say they crushed, they killed, and blah blah blah. When I'm like, no, man, Not at
Are
all.
they like the Conor McGregor of the comedic world?
Yeah, that's what they think.
Crikey.
I think that goes with everything. It, like you were saying, was respect for the, I guess, the art form or what you're doing. I was thinking about this last night while I laid in bed and I looked up at the stars. There's so much good content out now on videos, on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you really have to,
Professionals.
yeah, and you have to bring your A game. Like, that's what I like, is that we're reaching an era where it's very hard just to do the bare minimum and put out good content. I mean, granted, there's stuff like TikTok and these other areas that are like, you can record a 7-second video or 15-second and you get millions of views on it. But I feel like that's cheapening your experience. That's cheapening your existence, not to be that dramatic. But like, those are cheap shots. That's low-hanging fruit. That's like really low humming frequency. That's like watching Cops on TV, like Jerry Springer. It's like, there's nothing really here, but everybody wants to watch it because it's just, it just talks to your monkey brain of like a baseline entertainment dopamine rush. But on the flip side, you can't just get away with talking about certain subjects or trying to make entertaining videos and everything with... What's going on over there, mate?
Can you hear the dog? I'm sorry.
I can hear the dog.
Just give me a sec. Let me.
I'm just gonna keep talking to the people listening. I'm
listening. I'm there.
No, to the podcast listeners.
I'm here.
Right.
I'm back. For those that are bothered, Sam's returned.
Sam's here. Yeah, I feel like it's just because I think that's what I also cringe looking back on some stuff, is I'm like, oh, I didn't provide enough value in some of these stuff, like the videos that I posted. That's why I've never actually started doing tech reviews and info education about specs, because like we talked about before, it's like people like Gerald Undone. There's plenty of people like that. There's dudes who review, 9 to 5 Max. There's a guy, Max Yervy, I want to say his name is. He reviews Apple computers and their specs. There's people who provide such a crazy amount of value that I'm like, I can't even touch that realm. I'd be sitting there with a camera and just be like, well, I like it. When I take pictures with it, it's cool.
But you know what, man? If you don't mind me interrupting, I watched his stuff. I've seen a couple of Gerald Undone's videos in the past, and I'm going to come back to that in a sec. But at the time, let me just come back to that. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at speaking. I've seen a couple of his stuff in the past, but then recently, I've come across his channel again and gotten really into it. And I was watching a bunch of his videos, and it got me thinking, like you were saying then. I was like, why am I even doing YouTube? This guy's doing it, and he knows everything to do with anything inside out. And here I am going, yeah, this is all right. Yeah, nice one. It looks good. You should get one.
You're selling yourself short, man. I watch your videos.
Well, thanks for watching, man. But the thing is, my point is, you could think like that, or you could think that for example, when I first came across one of his videos, it blew my mind to the point where I didn't know what he was on about. So I was like, I don't want to know this. The video was too long, and all of it's going over my head. I want a base level understanding of what I've typed in and what his video says it's about.
Yeah.
So there is always somebody that wants to know your interpretation of it.
It's very true.
So that's what I keep in mind whenever I think there's a million people doing it, and that there's a million people better than me doing it. But because I'm speaking on quite a simple level, I'm appealing to people that want that knowledge.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to appeal to the beginners, because when I first started, my aim was I want to share with people what I struggled with when I first started, or that I couldn't find when I first started.
Yeah.
And and there's people like, now I can sit and watch a Gerald Undone video from beginning to end because I'm understanding more about it now.
Yeah.
But I know that a lot of people can't, and all they want to know is, oh, how do I expose my DSLR camera better than I already do? Not how do you do it when you're in a Hollywood film set.
Yeah, and the difference with
Because-
bit rate and color
Yeah.
and dynamic range and different stops, and it's like, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, exactly. So for you and I, that's good. That's like, right, I want to take my filmmaking production level to the next level. But for somebody, they want to go, how do I get from it looking awful to a bit better? So to them, seeing something that if you turn the histogram on and turn your exposure up a little bit, for them it's like, that was golden for me. That's all I ever want. That's all I need, and they'll subscribe just because of that.
Yeah.
So man, I think anybody that's listening that feels the same way as you do, but wants to start a tech review channel or a tips channel, there's always room to do it. There's always room. So my advice is just do it, even if it's the one video, because you never know. You never know. That one video might help so many people, and I think, not to get too spiritual, but if that's all it does, help one person, then you've done a good job.
I like that, man. Yeah.
Sorry,
that,
I've
no, I like that.
literally just like waffled on for about 3 hours.
No, I like that. And that's one thing. That's why I wanted to have you on the podcast, is because I've been seeing a lot lately that you've been like dabbling into the world, and maybe at least you've been dabbled in that world, but now you're posting a lot about it, of just kind of the mental blocks and creativity, and taking the creative path. Have you been doing a lot of reading and soul searching?
Oh, you mean like on Instagram with that, like the quotes and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, that's something I've been into for a good few years now. When I read Tim Ferriss' book, The 4 Hour Work Week.
Oh, yeah.
Have you read that one?
Yeah.
The life changer, absolute life changer, and that philosophy was all about how to achieve more by doing less, and basically not getting weighed down and stuff with like a job that you don't want to do, and try and escape that and do what you want to do. So that's a big part of why I've always tried to do something creative and make a career out of it, really.
Yeah.
But from that was like the first book I ever read, apart from like Goosebumps books at school. But that got me into reading about like personal development and stuff like that, and just trying to like, should we go real deep on this?
Let's
should
go
we go
deep, baby.
super deep? Right. So, right, here we go. When, if you've had like a few girlfriends that don't work out,
Oh, yeah.
and I started thinking, why is the same thing always happening? If the same thing is always happening, it can't be them, it must be me. So so maybe like work on yourself. And that's when I started reading like about like stoicism and stuff like that, and trying, like, if you get angry at stuff, it's like, why am I so angry? And then that stoic thing is such a good philosophy to keep in mind in those moments. And so that's why I got into it. And I think I've been trying to sum it up and answer your question for once in my life. I'm trying to apply all of those things that I learn in these books and stuff like that to filmmaking like that, because so often you can get bogged down with, I'm not going to carry on with my YouTube channel anymore because Gerald Undone's got one and he's better than me.
Yeah.
And he's always going to be better than me. So why should I do one? And then it's like, from reading stuff like that, it brings me back down to the reason why I started in the first place, and it keeps you happy because it's like, hang on a minute, it's what I want to do. So if that's the only reason, because I want to do it, then you should do it anyway.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people that don't want to read or don't like to read or just don't have the time to read, posting these little quotes from these books is a good thing to do, and as well it reminds me to keep those things in mind.
I agree. I like that. Dude, that's the thing, is to keep it on the spiritual path, is that I think there's too much of a mentality with people where people think that things aren't, that if they help other people, those people are going to get ahead of them, or, not looking at it as if we are all in this together. Like, that's the thing, is I think that's how you really have a legacy and you really make an impact, when you stop looking at what your personal achievement can be and you start looking at it as what we can be as like a society, as a group. And it's like that, like, man, you look at some coaches growing up where, kids get so impacted and inspired and shaped by other people, by their coaches who believed in them. A coach tells you when you're 10 years old, like, you can do this. You're going to be, I don't think you realize how good you are. That can literally plant a seed in someone's mind they're going to always carry that for the rest of their life. And it's the same thing in the opposite direction when you have a parent or someone who's just like, nah, you can't do that. You're never going to achieve anything. It can plant that seed that literally, ruins the rest of their life. It puts them on a different path. And I look at the world like that with people I interact with. I never tell people they can't do something. I never tell people, like, maybe you should try to do something else or something like that. Because I think it's so important. That's why when you post stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, keep this going. It's real, because you have the foundation behind it to support you posting it, if that makes sense. Because sometimes you see people posting things and you're like, you're not about that life. Okay.
Yeah, they don't live by that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it waters it down. And it's just like, man, you're ruining what this is actually about, because everybody sees your life and you're not an example of that. So they don't believe when people post these things, Yeah.
And they'll post like a quote, but it's completely out of context to what they're trying to say, and they just don't understand.
Yeah.
And like you say, they don't live that life because you know them inside out, and it's like, you don't live like that. That's not your moral. And it's like they've just seen it and gone, oh, I'll put that up, and then they forget about it completely.
Yeah. That's the same thing. People get motivated like just for a week, and they're like, I'm going to change my life. I'm on the grind and everything like that. And then they're gone a week later, a month later,
And that's fine, because there's just other things that are more important to them at that moment in time.
You're being nice right now.
Yeah, I was going to go further, and I thought, no, I can't.
No, I think. What just happened, Sam? So professional, Sam.
My extremely.
I think my drone just
precarious.
got here. I just heard a delivery truck.
Have you got to go and get it?
My assistant will get it for me. Okay. She's gonna listen to this and be pissed.
Going back to that, you're so right, because a lot of people that I know, when I started like doing the YouTube thing, are like, why do you want to share your tips? Why do you want to tell everybody how you do things? I'm like, look, that information is available everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's, so anybody can go and do it anyway.
Yeah.
But the whole point is, I'm trying to help people. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not doing it because I want to show everybody how good I am, because I don't think I'm good. Mm. I'm trying to get better and I'm just sharing when I find a new tip that works for me.
Yeah.
So it's not about, I want to keep all these secrets to myself, because what's the point in that?
It also, I like doing that, and then I also, for the reason of it makes me get better. Like that's the thing is I always, with comedy, I like being on shows with good comedians who are going to make me raise my game. Like I always like going after comedians that just did really well and like put a lot of pressure on me, because it forces you to get better. And it's the same thing. And going back to what I was saying about YouTube, and like you have to provide so much value that it makes you raise the bar so much more. And I think there's something Kumbaya, we are the world in it, where you put out something that is just purely to help other people, the world is going to give you that back somehow. You know, I believe in karma.
Kumbaya.
Kumbaya, you know. Kumbaya. I really do think that like, and that's the thing is like, if you push anything forward and you just try to be good to the world, what's the worst that happens? You know?
Exactly.
And it makes you feel good. A lot of times when you help people, it's like almost weird, because you do get a lot of gratification from just helping people. So that in itself should be, worth it.
Exactly. I love it when somebody says, I've just stumbled across your channel and I was looking for a solution of how to make my videos look better, and now I've gone and bought that light that you recommended. And
is this me? Did I leave that comment?
This is you, yeah. And Mr. E. Lopez, it was on the comment. No, and and that it makes you feel good, because it's like, great, that one video that I put up has helped that one person, at least one person.
Yeah.
And it's there forever for anybody else to see. And that's how I felt. That appreciation that they're showing me is how I felt when I watched somebody else on YouTube giving me advice.
Yeah.
And I've got that much respect for them, and I still follow certain YouTubers now to this day since I first started, because they helped me get started.
Yeah.
So if I can do that for somebody else, like you say, it feels good.
Yeah.
But you, man, you're like, you've talked about me like doing a lot of stuff, but you smash it as well. Like, for example, you did a video about I can't remember what it was called.
Wow.
Can't remember what it was called now, but it was about when
really made an impact, I see.
Man. I'd put my foot in it every time. But it was about like nutrition, and I think you were making like a COVID shake or something like that.
The Corona bomb.
Corona bomb, that was it.
Yeah.
I knew it had the word bomb in it, but I didn't want to. So anyway, watching that video, that I said to you, didn't I? I was like, mate, you need to make more videos like that, because for a start, I mean, you've got the physique to start with, that it makes me think, right, well, whatever he's doing is working, so I've got that instant trust in you anyway. But then you didn't just go, right, you've got to put a tablespoon of this in, and then a bit of that, and then some water, shake it up, and it's done, thanks for watching. Your personality was in it from beginning to end, and you made it funny. So again, going back to the thing about like YouTube and that, nobody else is going to do it like you. And like I would subscribe to that because of that personality that was in it, and the fact that I'd trust you because the results are there.
Thanks, man.
The evidence is there.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I need to put out more. I've been wanting to put, and this is me dealing with procrastination and trying to do other stuff at the same time, but I do need to put more stuff on YouTube like that. Because one thing I found is that when you're putting out purely entertaining stuff, it's a very hard realm to compete in the sense of you're going up against late night shows, you're going up against very well established people, and truly education is something I enjoy doing. I love teaching people about things. So I think I need to combine that more with nutrition and everything. And also the spectrum of comments you get when you're putting out just entertaining stuff, it can be so much more toxic. Like I think our comments are so different on YouTube. I get a lot of, you're a piece of shit, blah, 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 you're blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, people are so angry when you're just being entertaining, you know? Have you dealt with that?
I think, no, a little bit recently. There was a point about
I think
a
I'm
month
just
ago.
easy to hate. I think I give off a vibe where people are like, ugh.
It's not that, man. It's not that at all. Like, I can see things from both sides because it's like...
You can see why they hate me?
No.
I'm just kidding.
What I mean is, I can see it from my perspective, and I can see it from your perspective. Can we start again? Can we cut this bit out? Because
no,
what I said didn't.
no.
Right.
Trying to add more work.
Right. Can I? I'm just going to do a disclaimer. Right.
Okay.
For those that are, if they're still watching or listening, I'm not very good at expressing my thoughts into words, so I apologize. I'm terrible. I'm really bad at that.
Well, now you're gonna make me feel bad and make me edit it out.
No, I'm not. You keep it in. Just make me look bad. I make me look bad. Anyway, right, back to the thingy. When it's easy to hate somebody that's funny, and when it comes to entertainment like music or comedy or films, there's that many genres of the same thing.
Yeah.
It like when I was in bands and stuff at school, I hated Blink-182 or anybody that was into that because
Really?
I liked Guns N' Roses, and in my mind that was more technical than what Blink-182 were doing. So I was like, why isn't everybody appreciating me for what I do? And when that is easy. But now I can look back on that and go, Blink-182 is good, fun, feel-good music, and you can just appreciate it for that.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant when I said I can see both sides. It's like I can see the side of the person that's got a lot of hate and understand why they hate somebody or why they feel the need to have to comment. Not that I've ever been like that.
Yeah.
But that's why people do it, I think, because they're not getting enough of something.
Yeah, that's honestly it. And that's the thing, is that it used to bother me when I was younger. I don't know if we've talked about this, but it used to bother me when I would get mean comments because I didn't have the wherewithal or the knowledge to realize that person's just hurting. Like, man, that's why it goes back to me wanting everybody to be successful and everybody to do what they love. And you know, that's why I've never pushed for anybody who doesn't want to have their own business, who doesn't have the entrepreneurial spirit, to do it. Because I'm like, you just have to do what's right for you. You know, everybody has their own path. And I just want everybody to be good, because if everybody is good and getting that fulfillment, we're all going to be good with each other, you know? The same thing will happen. We're all getting in moods where, you know, things aren't going good. And like I've hit a patch of a bunch of unfortunate events. And then I start turning into a mean person where I'm like driving and I'm like, what the fuck is this fucktard cunt doing, you know, in this lane? And then I'll catch myself and be like, oh shit, Evan, you're being a YouTube comment right now, you know? And
I'm sure, like,
it just,
I'm sure you wouldn't put it out there for the world to see forever.
Yeah, it's a strange thing.
But that's the thing that sets you apart, is you catch yourself doing it. Because there's an awareness, isn't there? If you're aware of it, then you can go, oh, I don't like that side of me. And then why did I just do that? If you know why, then you can go, right, then I need more sleep, or I need food, or let me try and accomplish something, or even just have a bit of a rest for a few days, and then I'll feel better.
Are you big on rest?
You know what? I'm trying to be. I'm a lot better than I used to be. Like years ago, I would never rest because I would just try and aim for something constantly and feel bad if, because the world tells you to keep working all the time and work hard, and I would feel bad for saying that I'm tired or I'm burnt out. Whereas now it's like, right, okay, I understand what's going on. I'm not being creative now because I've done too much and I just need a rest. Like you yesterday, you were bummed out because of your drone. So I'm going to go and have some food and chill out on the Play Cube or whatever.
Play Cube?
Xbox.
Play Cube. Xbox, yeah.
Play.
It's so true because, that happened on Thursday, and I said, fuck it. I'm taking the rest of the day off. I'm just going to do whatever. I was tired. I was frustrated. And Friday, I had a super productive day where I got videos done, emailed clients, emailed potential clients, got more work done.
That's it, man. So when people say you need to keep working, don't rest, what are you resting for? That rest is just as important as any part of working.
Yeah, it's huge. And because you come back more efficient, new set of eyes on it. If you're working on a project, you kind of get that recovery. You're less stressed and you have more energy. And it's like, there's something to that. And I mean, I guess it's not a Western philosophy, even though it kind of seems like it is, but maybe it's everywhere. I think the internet has changed everything because all across the world, you see the hustle, you see the grind, and you see this and that. So you think that that's happening 24/7, 7 days a week, waking up at 4 a.m., going to bed at 2 a.m. And it's just like, no, it's just not healthy. And you can't keep that up. You can't maintain that,
Exactly. You got to recognize when your body is telling you that you need to chill out for a bit. And it's funny actually, because like you saying that, like to you it looks like I'm doing stuff every day, posting every day. I feel like I've not been as active recently, especially on Instagram. And part of me has felt really bad for not. This ties in what we've just been saying. Part of me feels really bad for not posting as much, and I'm thinking, I'm not getting as many followers and subscribers, blah, blah, blah. But I know as well, like I catch myself doing that, and then I know it's like there's a reason why I'm not doing it. And one of the main reasons, and sometimes I think it can be subconsciously as well, because what's been happening recently is my thumb, I'm starting to feel a bit better now, but my thumb has been really bad because I've been either with the mouse all day and then in between that posting pictures on Instagram. So it's like constantly like that. So I think subconsciously I've just taken a bit of a backseat from like posting as much. And making sure that I'm, because I know that if I just push through that, I'm not going to be able to edit next week. Or it's going to screw me up for a long time down the road anyway. So that's another important part of resting. If physically you need to rest, otherwise, and you need to repair, and that's the same with mentally. If you keep going all the time, you're going to. Evan's got bored and he's disappeared, by the way. So I'll keep going.
Dude, my camera overheated.
No. That's Sony life.
Dude. I'm sorry, I was trying not to have it, I was trying not to let it happen, man. I think it's because I didn't pull the screen off the back. Damn.
Oh, right.
Gotta get that Sony A7S III, man.
Man, that's an exciting thing that's coming.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it.
Did you see the footage?
Yeah, I've seen all the footage. I can't believe you're coming back and you're acting like you never left. You're acting like you didn't abandon us.
Well, it's possible. I don't want to get your hopes up.
You might not come back.
I don't know yet. I'm gonna hire a couple on the release date week and put them side by side and see what I think, because it's this, I got the R not long ago, and it's a big investment, isn't it, for money and stuff, and I just want to make sure that this one is going to last me, and it looks like the Sony is the one that is going to, it's like, I don't want any more than that,
Yeah.
without going into the specs and stuff, like dynamic range, 10-bit, and all the slow-mo, it's great. But there's just a couple of things about it that I would miss from the Canon, and that's the reason why I went back to Canon before.
Like what?
And I don't want to fall into that trap again, because the Sony had a lot of stuff on the A7 III, but the way the Canon was for me, I was like, no, I would sacrifice those specs to have what it is about the Canon that I enjoy. So, I don't want to start a war again, but that's the truth. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel. But there's just something about the Canon for me personally that I just prefer.
Really?
It's bizarre. It's
and
bizarre.
You have the R6?
No, I've got the R at the moment. So
okay.
But so that's another thing.
How much is that body?
Like the R, I think it's about £1,800 now. I think you can get them for maybe a bit less.
Okay.
But that's the other thing. It's like the R5, which is like the
R5. That's what I meant.
Yeah, the R5. And between the R5 and the R6, I'd go for the R6, and the R6 is the cheaper one.
Oh yeah, the R6.
Because I don't want 8K. I would never use it. I probably would never use it until
Which one
we get
has
to the
8K?
point. The R5. But
Okay.
the thing is, it's not usable. It's not a usable 8K thing, and that's like people are saying like Canon went wrong in the marketing because they were like, this video camera has got 8K, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, it's still a photography camera, but you can shoot 8K on it a little bit. It's very limited. And
how big of a sensor does it have?
It's the 8K sensor. So
how many megapixels is that?
It's like 45, I think, megapixels. But
it probably is not good at low light with that.
Exactly, man. That's why the Sony's so good, is because it's 12 and the pixels are bigger. So and it's backlit or something. It's like lit from behind the sensor or something from these whatever it is, coils.
And 12 megapixels is enough for pretty much 95% of what people are going to use it for with photography. Unless you're blowing it up very big, then you'll start seeing differences.
Exactly.
I mean, the dream would be to have the Sony the A9 for photography, and having the Sony A7S III for video. Yeah,
it's crazy, man. I feel like I've got a feeling that Canon are gonna maybe 6 months to a year time, and they should do it a lot sooner, bring out a video specific camera like Sony do. Like you say, they've got like a video body and they've got a photo body, and Canon are missing out because they could make they could just have such a good camera for video, and they're just not doing it because they want people to buy the cinema cameras, but they haven't realized that
it's like they're not keeping their finger on the pulse of where the industry is going.
No.
Go ahead.
They're relying too heavily on their reputation.
Yeah. That's kind of an interesting thing. The pulse of where everything is going is just the current state of Hollywood and these big budget films. Right now, there's very few going on. There's like a handful of movies still filming. Jurassic World just started again, and they have to follow all these protocols. And I don't know. I think the industry is going to be brought down to a middle point where you're going to be having a lot of these productions filmed on smaller budgets that are going to be looking towards a solution, to rent those cameras every single day, these studios, because none of them buy them. They rent the big IMAX cameras and everything. You're talking about, you could have $100,000 in equipment and cameras rented a day versus and depending how good the Sony A7S IIIs are, you could have a budget of like $1,500 to $2,000, $5,000 maybe for, a full feature film. And it's like Canon is going to miss out on a lot if they don't adapt to at least the current state, I could be completely wrong and talking out of my ass right now, but that's what I think.
Well, yeah, there's something I've not even thought about, really. Mm-hmm. Because people just think, don't they, we're filming a film, so let's rent a film camera. Let's rent a cinema camera. Whereas, like you say, these what do they call it, prosumer level cameras are stepping up the game.
Yeah.
That I'm blown away with the dynamic range of that Sony. I cannot believe that is in something for under £4,000.
It's crazy, man.
And like you say, that
and for the American listeners, he means £4,000, the cost, not how much it weighs.
Yeah. Oh right. Yeah, that's right. 4,000 quid, I should say.
Yeah.
So, but they were filmed when the Canon 5D came out. They filmed a film on that. So it's not unheard of. So I think you're right. I think you're totally right. And somebody out there is going to want to know if they can film an entire film on the Sony A7S III. We already know that you can't even film a scene. Is it Armando Ferrero or Ferrero Rocher?
Yeah.
They tried to film a scene with the R5 and it overheated. So
yeah, man.
Nobody's going to even look at it once it gets released, and the odd vlogger has bought into that camera. Nobody's going to look at it for doing serious video work because I'm scared I wouldn't get it. That's why I would get the R6.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's a huge fear, man. When you're on a job and worried about your gear. Yeah. I actually just filmed. I need to send you. I'll do that today if you don't mind reviewing it. Tell me what you think. I've been working on the Hello 2 short film. And just by getting the Adamus Ninja and recording externally from my Sony A7 III, the cinematic quality has gone up so much with what it looks like, where I'm like, this is almost film level. The amount that I can color grade, the depth, the bit rate, like it keeps everything in there. Now, granted, I have to buy another terabyte of SSD data,
for the Pro
storage. Yeah, just because literally for this one project, that's going to end up being like a 5-minute film. I probably have like an hour of footage, but I'm already at like a terabyte, of storage space. So it's huge, but the quality, man, it's insane.
Yeah, and you've gone and bought that, like affordably.
Yeah,
got it delivered like in the next couple of days, and you've got almost as good results as a actual feature film.
Yeah,
I think it's incredible. Like you say, that Ninja 5, it takes that camera to absolute next level, doesn't it? It is incredible. It's incredible. I'm looking forward to see it, man. Yeah, send it me across.
Yeah, and if you see anything in it that you think I should change up, let me know. There's a couple transition parts where I feel like it gets a little too slow. It gets a little too hang on the shots too long. So I'm just trying to gut it out right now, mate.
Okay. Well, because you've not told me what it's about. So where did the idea come from?
All right. I'll give a little bit away without giving a little bit away. You remember the Hello video that I did? It was like a music video.
Music.
Yeah. This is the continuation of that, because the end of that one is like, we're only going to be in lockdown for 2 weeks. And then this one starts with a little snippet of that one, and then it says 5 months later. So it's like we were here in lockdown for longer than 2 weeks. And basically the idea of the short film is that now we're basically living in the apocalypse. And it's just so ridiculous. And talking a lot about what people believe right now with conspiracies and just, it's crazy in America right now, man, and I'm just trying to have a little go at it.
Yeah. Well, I've got another friend in California, and he's saying like the same how crazy it is over there.
Yeah.
It's such a shame.
Mm-hmm. How is it over there with people like your society, your culture? Not a lot
bizarre.
of fighting?
No. There was a bit of fear for a little bit with all the Black Lives Movement thing going on. Mm-hmm. And I was really worried about like a big divide there. Mm. Because to me, like, racism is just something that I've never thought about because I've had friends from all over.
Yeah.
So I've never even thought that it was an issue, and I've had like I've had racist attacks on me, but I didn't think it was like racism. I just thought, oh, what an idiot. So I think without dumbing down anybody's opinion at all, I just think there's idiots in every ethnicity, aren't they? And that's what it comes down to. And I just hope that that's how everybody sees it. It's not like there's no this against that, them against them. It's just idiots being idiots, and that's it. But anyway, moving away from that, it's bizarre because if you want to go and get your hair cut, this is what's going on at the minute. This is why I've not been. You've got to wear all the whatever it is
PPE.
stuff, PP.
PP.
You got to wear all that stuff. You got to put PP on, and then you've got dividers in between everything, and this and then you can't, like, Beth can't go out and perform and sing.
Yeah.
But like, I went for a walk today, and the pubs are open, and everybody's sat close to each other, and it's just normal, and it's just like, why can you do that, but you can't go and do the everyday stuff that you need to go and do?
Are they wearing masks?
No,
they're
not wearing masks. So you have to wear a mask to go into a supermarket or to go anywhere, but you go in the pub and you can do whatever. It's mental. It's mental, man. So, but things aren't ridiculous. Beth mentioned today that, because I don't look at the news, she said that apparently by November we're meant to be lifting all the restrictions.
Really?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, have you heard anything about lifting restrictions?
No, it's been, the cases have been on the rise here. It might be getting better, but we're not in a place where we're going to be lifting restrictions anytime soon.
Man.
There's just not, that's the thing with America is we're so about freedom and liberty, and we're kind of a melting pot. We're almost like a social experiment because we do have such a short history in the big picture of things, to where we haven't really been around for a long time compared to like other countries. But we're so, what would be the word? Eccentric? Like we like with our culture, just how America is. We're very patriotic. We're very, let's fucking do it. And because we have such like our freedom is our calling card. That's our mission statement, that we don't have constraints. It fuels when you have so many different beliefs from so many different cultures and so many different, like, that's the thing, is if you go to America, or if you come to America, you can go to so many different parts and people are so different to the point where it almost seems like they're from different countries. You know, you look at the West Coast, you look at California compared to how people in Texas are, compared to how people in New Orleans are, compared to how people are on the East Coast. Then you go to like Washington, you go all over these different places, and they're almost like their own cultures within the country. And when you have it like that, you get so many different belief systems that everybody starts arguing and so many different things that it's hard to contain something like COVID, because half the people don't believe it's real. The other half doesn't believe that that wearing a mask is impeding on their liberties. And then you have a big part where we're like, let's just wear masks and try to deal with this. And realistically, if we had a solid month lockdown, it would have been done, But there, like you were saying about people in the pub, there's been so many people here that just haven't ever taken it serious, no self-awareness, no caring about other people, they're like, it's just the flu, and then they'll go get someone sick. And
see, I
still love America though. America.
Yeah, of course. I don't think it's as bad. From all the reports and everything and stuff we've read, it's nowhere near as bad as it's been made out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's contagious, and yes, people have gotten ill and stuff, but it's been blown out of proportion.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter what my belief is or what I think, I also know that that's my opinion and I could be wrong. So I'll just play by the rules. Just get your head down, play by the rules, do it. And like you said, if everybody just stuck to the rules and what they'd been told, it could have been over so much quicker. Yeah. So it doesn't, like, you can have your opinion, but at the end of the day, sometimes you've just got to do what's right for everybody, and just put that opinion aside and go, right, I'm going to do my part. And then I'll get what I want in the end, which is my freedom back, and you'll get that quicker.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, it's not even, freedom, I get what you're saying, but there's a lot of people here who are like, this is impeding on my liberties, and oh wow, but it's like, if we've deemed something a public issue and a public safety issue, we lock people up with mental illnesses. Like, we take away their liberties if they're a danger to society, So it's like, I don't know. I'm with you, man. Yeah. And I think last time we were on the podcast together, it was when we didn't really know how dangerous coronavirus was. It was a scary time. And you're right. It is not as dangerous as we thought for us, There is an age group and people with, other underlying complications that it can affect more. And it's just, the real issue is hospitals being oversurged.
That's right, yeah.
And that's the thing. And I wish people would take it more serious, because then we could get back to regular life. But it's going to be a while.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's sooner rather than later, man. I'm sorry to hear that it's still bad over there.
Yeah. And you know what?
But it's such a big place.
Yeah. It's also that it looks so much worse. Like, that's why I want to put a caveat in that, is that it looks so much worse than it really is on the news. It looks like America is on fire. And, there's been some hard times where there was a lot of protests and a lot of things going on. But man, when I go outside, I don't see that. And granted, I live in a beach area where it's like, laid back people for the most part. But the news and the media and the internet always likes to make people think things are worse than they are. So you keep watching, So you stay scared, because why would you need to stay glued to the TV if everything was good? You got to know what's happening next. Oh my God, I got to just stay informed. But
is that how you feel? Do you check in on the news and stuff?
I do, but I look at like news sources like The Hill on YouTube, and I try to get information. I try not to get biased information. I just want to know the facts of what's happening, things that are objective. And then once I have that, I don't really care about a news person's narrative, because not to get political or like to get all risque, Like when you start seeing a lot of what happened with George Floyd in that situation, you start seeing a certain narrative and story being pushed on why these things happened. That's why I try to stay away from that with the news. I want to know what happened. I don't want to hear some news persons of why it happened. Okay? Because that's when it gets dangerous. When you start listening to people's why something happened, it starts fueling a narrative that, you know, either it's political or it's social or cultural, that they're putting their own thing on it. And it's dangerous, you know, because when you have any situation that is, what would be the word for it? Not risky, complicated or dangerous, it can have a lot of consequences just by the way people talk about it. You know, the difference between, I start seeing a lot of articles for anything going on lately where it will say stuff like, a white male says this to a black woman. And it's like, what was the need of writing that title that way unless you're trying to get people to click because it fuels racial tension? It makes people click because for some reason people want to stay informed on racial stuff. So it's like, I get why people are doing it. Articles, they know they get clickbait titles. They know it works because they get, you know, the same thing with YouTube. If you get feedback like, oh, when I talk about lighting versus microphones, I get 10 times the views. I'm going to keep talking about lighting. They see that with racial dividing and just anything that will get people to click and fear. They just keep
fueling it. If that's what's happening, if that is what's really happening and that's the reasons why, then that's the worst thing. And that's what I believe as well. Like you say, it's all clickbait and it's all attention grabbing. And Beth's opened articles with really bad headlines to make you click on it, and then it's totally the opposite of what the headline's saying. Yeah. And that's why it's because it really annoys me. But that is the reason why I don't look at the news. I don't do it. I don't scroll. I just get on with what I want to do, because that energy like that always takes me away from what I want to do. Yeah. You know? Sorry, man. My camera, because I had the screen on it, keeps dying. So unprofessional right now. You need a Canon. Yeah, so... How dare you, sir? Going back to the YouTube thing, if we've wrapped that little bit up. Let's do it. If you were to, because you've said, like, and we've spoken about it a few times, and you've mentioned a couple of bits about you maybe doing some videos. If you were to do a channel, what would you do it about? What do you think you'd do it about? I mean, I have a channel. I mean, if you were to, I know you have, but God damn it. Okay, if you were to either start a new channel or start posting like more often, what direction would you go? I think if it wasn't going to be purely entertainment, it would be education. It would involve cooking. It would involve nutrition, probably working out, and just kind of lifestyle optimization. Cool, man. That's probably what I know. Like that's one thing that I've learned. That is one of my skills, I think, is being able to optimize situations, whether it's podcasting. Like I can take a situation and I just look at it, and granted, a lot of people probably have this skill, but I've just developed it, is I can take situations and cut all the fat out of it. Whether it's even the way I upload and just making templates and, speeding up my days. Because that's the thing, is it's a double-edged sword, but like we're going back to talking about overworking and doing way too much. There was a couple of years there where I was doing so much that I had no choice, if I wanted to get done everything I was doing, to optimize everything. Where, I'm waking up at this time. I have coffee and read and write from this time. At that moment, I check my emails for 15 minutes, and I don't allow any other time
to answer emails and customer service for the rest of the day. So I would confine it to this, and then I'll walk the dog and do all that, and then I'll go to jiu-jitsu, and then I'll come back, and then I would have everything just organized down to the point of where the eggs were in the fridge, to easily reach them, So yeah, I think optimizing, just daily routines. I'm a big believer in routines. That's been the biggest thing that has probably helped me stay on course as my own entity, because I don't have a boss. I don't have, if I don't work, if I don't do anything, and I don't, keep a schedule, I'll just go crazy. I'll just spiral where I'm just if I don't have a set thing to keep me on course, I'll just find anything to do, So I think that kind of stuff. I kind of went off on a tangent, but yeah.
No, that's it. Because when you are your own boss, you've got to act like there's two people, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
You've got to act like there's a boss and there's the worker there that does the stuff.
Yeah. And there's the manager, and there's the advisor, and there's the scheduler. Dude, there's so much in there. Yeah.
But as well as knowing that and trying to do that, I think you've got to be the sort of person that has those other voices going off, because you and I enjoy that feeling of, I've had this idea and I'm going to go and do that, and I need to do that. Whereas a lot of people are I've got an idea, but I can't be bothered to do that. I'm not going to. That means I've got to go and do something.
Yeah.
Sorry for the dog again.
No, it's all good. I like it. It's good ambiance music. All right, man. I think we've done about 90 minutes. We were planning on doing 30 to 40, and Zoom didn't cut out, what we're using the video for. And yeah, man.
Yes, that's good. Mate, I'm sorry if I've waffled on for most of the podcast. I hope you can get some usable stuff.
Hey, man, this is all usable. You need to stop apologizing so much.
Okay, man. I'll take that.
I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Routine.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, man, I appreciate talking with you. I hope some people found this interesting, maybe learned a little bit. If you're getting started in videography, go with the Sony. You heard it here first from Sam endorses that message.
It's not a bad camera. I'll give him that.
And you know what we should do is, after the Sony comes out, maybe in a few months, we get some time with it and figure it out. We should hop on the podcast again, and we'll talk about it again.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
Anytime.
Right, pleasure. Thanks for having me on again.
Cheers, you proper cut.
Pleasure. Cheers, Codger.